Okay, so good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Net Positive. Today we're sitting down with the Surfrider Foundation girls. How are you doing today?
Great, thanks Ziggy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Would you just start by introducing yourself and discussing your roles in Surfrider?
Yeah, my name is Susie Crick. I'm the chair and also run the South Coast branch.
Okay.
My name is Stella. I'm an ambassador for Surfrider Australia and part of the local South Coast branch here.
Okay. Well, fantastic. And for people who don't know, because we're a whole part of this series is that we want people to be. This might be the first time they're hearing of Surfrider, but I've obviously known about Surfrider for years, and if you're in any surf communities, you obviously have heard the name. But for people who don't know, where does Surfrider start, and and how long has this been going on in Australia? Did it start in Australia? Did it start overseas? These are questions that I personally have as well.
Yeah, okay. No, Surfrider started in Malibu about 30 years ago. Malibu is a small beach break in California, north of Los Angeles. And what happened was they wanted to do a coastal development which would have affected frogs, and there was this beautiful little marshland, and the surfers got together and realised if they do this big development, it's going to affect their break as well. So the surfers got together and stopped the development, and that's where Surfrider grew. Since then, it's gone global, and we're massive in the US and Europe, and we're pretty big in Australia too.
Okay, fantastic. And Stella, when did you get involved with Surfrider?
About 2012, we were actually at a Rally for a Refund event in Sydney Harbour. We were doing a peaceful protest to get the container deposit scheme passed through Parliament, which is now around today, the 10-cent refund for
fantastic.
glass bottles, aluminium, plastics. So at that event we met the chair of Surfrider at the time, and he sort of explained to us what Surfrider was about, and we really resonated with it. And he encouraged us to start up a local branch down here in the South Coast, as there wasn't one at the time. So yeah, it's easy to start up a branch if you're finding that there is a gap in your area.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's a really good point, is that despite there being a lot of coastal communities all around the world, but particularly in Australia, I know South Coast to me reminds me a lot. I spend a lot of time on the South Coast actually, and I just know that like a lot of small local surf communities, getting action on really important issues in the area is sometimes it's not heard. It's not embraced by the local community. If there's any threat of jobs, if you say that magic word, like it's this could take away our jobs, and everyone, because it is tight-knit communities, and so everyone knows everybody else, and there's quite a lot of, I think, social pressure around starting up initiatives. And what I learned from both of you before was just that Surfrider this year is really big, not just this year, but is focusing on collaboration.
Absolutely.
And I want to hear a little more about that.
Okay, well the beautiful thing about the South Coast is there's not so many groups, but of the groups that there are, the people are super passionate. So we decided a few years ago the best way for us to get actions happening and across the line is if we all collaborated. So we do the Illawarra Clean Beach Festival, we do World Cleanup Day, and whenever we have events we all rally together. So there's the Plastic Free Wollongong movement, there's Fair Food Forager, Surfrider, of course, the Wilderness Society. There's so many of these groups. We all come together, and instead of there being like 20 people at an event and not having much say, all of a sudden we get 80 to 100 plus, and it's just really good. All of a sudden the community go, hey, what's going on? Oh, we're doing a beach clean, or we're focusing on this or whatever, and we really get it across the line. So our council is so supportive.
No, that's amazing. I think that one of the big things that I noticed, especially in the last couple of years, is that there's a lot of people trying to do the right thing, but it's almost like the effort can be really spread out. It dispersed amongst, let's say, 3 or 4 groups fighting for the same thing. You see that happen up on the reef.
Yeah.
I think that's a really incredible viewpoint to go, well, we need to come together as a group force. I think it's great there is an independent startup, but I think that when it comes to fighting the same issue, there's got to be times that you all come together. And what's some stuff you're working on, right now in terms of your collaborations?
Well, do you want to talk about our Ocean Friendly?
So Ocean Friendly is a program. It's designed on an app where there are participating restaurants and cafes which we encourage to reduce their demand on single-use plastics to their customers. So we go out to these cafes and restaurants and encourage them to get certified ocean friendly. and that shows up on an app, and they get a sticker on the front of their door which lets people know this is a place
Fantastic.
that they can get behind. So a lot more businesses are trying to get on board with this, which is really great.
And isn't that great? Because I think that there's something to be said for consumer choice, but we've all done it. Happened today. You get a smoothie and you forget to say, don't put a straw in it. Don't put a straw in it. Right?
Yeah.
And in places where, for example, there'll be like keep cup discounts and keep cups for sale, you are even sometimes even more forgetful to go. You just presume that they're going to have paper straws. They're going to have no straw at all. But I think that's really cool that it's coming down to a business choice and encouraging businesses to, because then that's going to be far more effective than trying to have every single person, because we're all coming from different places at learning at different times. Some people really love their straws, don't know their harm, don't want to believe the harm of it.
We got good lips, don't be suckers.
Yeah, exactly right. Okay, I like that. And so I think that's really cool that then you're encouraging local businesses up and down this coastline to be able to have that sticker and be a part of that movement.
Consumers have a lot of buying power, so if they shop consciously, like those little changes can make a huge improvement.
And you guys are off to you're going to go to Tasmania, is that right?
No, tomorrow we're going to Phillip Island, down in Victoria, and we're collaborating with C.A.R.E, and we're going to be doing a beach clean there, focusing on the microplastics and the really small plastics in the penguin colonies. So it's all about collaboration and doing what you can to make a difference.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool to do the microplastics, because a lot of people don't actually realise that every bit of plastic ever made is still around, but just in smaller and smaller little forms. So all these fancy marketing words like biodegradable really mean nothing, and they're false advertising, because everything just gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and then goes down the drain, out to our oceans, into our marine life. If we choose to eat fish and some of those ocean creatures, we're ingesting them too, and they get stuck.
I think it's going to be
bodies,
a really
which is crazy cycle,
isn't it? Absolutely. I think that's what's crazy is moving forward is for people not just on maybe an ethical choice on how they choose to eat in terms of animal welfare, but they're going to have to start. We are going to have to start asking. It's not if it's like farmed or if it's wild caught. It's going to be like, does it have plastic traces in it? And already is the case now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's plastics in our seafood, and what's even scarier is even the nanoparticles that are in our face creams, our hair conditioners, our toothpaste. They're being just washed down the drain as we shower, and even as we wash our hands or creams, our sunscreens. You've got to just be so careful what you're putting on your body, because they contain dangerous chemicals that wash down the drain, and they become really toxic, and the fish eat those inadvertently. And what's happening is they've found that even the phytoplankton, which we rely on for our oxygen, has plastic in it. So just be really careful. And I say, you can't be ignorant anymore. You know, we all have a role to play. We have to stop plastics, single-use plastics at the source. There's no need for us to be reliant or dependent on single-use plastics anymore. We don't need that straw. We don't need that coffee takeaway cup. If you've really got to have your coffee, sit down in a cafe, take it slow, talk to other people, enjoy your
It's something to be
coffee.
said. As travellers, I can 100% agree that it's about not taking the time to eat, or not taking the time, and we all do that. We're all trying to go right, so we'll eat sandwich and the coffee while we're driving, which we all know is not a fantastic idea as it is. And so for Surfrider, what do you think that there's a couple calls to actions for people who are watching this video and going, right, okay, I'm hearing this loud and clear. What do you think is maybe 2 points from you and 2 points from you that are immediate calls to actions or things that people can do to take responsibility?
All right. Firstly, I think before you go out to shop, you don't need to accept that plastic bag off the shop, right? Take your own bag. If you don't have a bag, buy what you need in your hands, stick it in your pockets. Try and think before you go out, so we're not using plastic bags.
Or ask for a box. A lot
Ask
of
for a
places have
box.
boxes.
Yeah. Another thing, when you eat out, don't do takeaway. Look, I'm just...
Or bring your own
bring your own
collapsible
cutlery.
container. They can fit in your handbag a lot of the time.
And you can get like the little bamboo cutlery that stays in your backpack or in your handbag. I'm just all about...
Yours is about thinking before, rethinking it. Yours is like actually a
Rethinking.
conceptual thing. Okay, here we go.
So this is a good little kit from the glove box.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So a lot of girls, when they go out to clubbing or drinking or whatever, they don't want to ruin their lipstick.
I really like
Understandable.
this.
So a stainless steel straw is a good alternative, or a bamboo. A lot of places sell them.
I know I
online now.
shouldn't say this, but it's also like a great weapon as well. I'd love to have it. I'd love it if my sister carried this. Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, it's not so good through customs, but
yeah, but we can make do. No, that's really, really cool. This
I travel with it through customs and it gets
and
through.
Still,
so
no, there's like this in particular. I've actually been looking for something like this. You've even got to, it's good.
you can put on your belt.
No, I'm gonna have to talk to you after actually to find out where to get some of this. But it's okay. So yours is about rethinking. Yours is about rethinking about before you're going to do something.
Thinking 2 steps ahead. That's what I'm all about.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we could do all the reactive work in the world, but really we have to be forward thinking. So what I would encourage people to do is, when they're buying online, to really choose who they're buying from. And at the moment, it's a lot of small businesses who are doing this plastic-free packaging, but now the bigger companies are starting to get a bit more...
getting a whiff, really.
Yeah, going with it. But just really choose who you're buying from, and if there's 2 companies, say, that offer the same product, I always choose to go with the one that might use natural fabric for packaging, or they work in a more sustainable way. So it's good to do some background research and feel really happy with your purchase.
And I think that's truly getting easier and easier. There is a lot more ways to be able to find out, where it used to be a kind of a guessing game. Now, with our celebratory music, it's not. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground, and I think with this music is the perfect way to end this. Ladies, thank you very much for having us, for coming out today in the rain. And last but not least, just tell us what's in store for 2019 for Surfrider, and how can people get involved?
Okay, go to surfrider.org.au, the Australian one, and sign up and become a member. If you're a young surfer, join our Gromfest Board Rider Club competitions. That's really cool. Check out where our events are. We've got beach cleans happening all around the country. I just think 2019 is the year where we just say no to single-use plastics. We stop it at the source, because like Stella said, we can't keep cleaning it up.
Yeah, okay.
My thing that I would like to end with is use your social media influence to really speak about stuff that's educational and makes a difference. So a lot of people have this really great following, and if they can use that to spread the word about great initiatives and programs that they really believe in, that's amazing, and it's a great way to connect with other people.
So Stella, what hashtags do we like to use?
One of our main ones is Rise Above Plastics. What else do we use?
And Surfrider, and Love Your Beach, and Long Live the Surf, Long Live the Rider, Surfrider.
Protect what you love.
Yeah, protect what you love.
Absolutely. No, I agree that 2019, I think that is coming to a front. I think that, like always with humans, it takes it to get to be a pretty bad spot before everyone kind of opens up their eyes. But I think absolutely it's going to be a time to stop it at the source, and to have a lot of business involvement, and businesses, not just consumers, having a lot of business support moving forward to make those changes before they go out and before we have to clean them up off the beach.
Cool.
Thank you very much for coming out today. Tune in for the next episode of Net Positive.
Thank you.